At my promotion party, my family showed up uninvited with a lawyer. They threw a family trust contract in my face, demanding control over my income, career, and even my future children. They called it just a formality and had the nerve to say, "You owe us every damn thing you have." This, after publicly humiliating me at my lowest point last year, calling me a useless piece of trash. I laughed in their faces, and then, I did what they'd feared for years. Now they're bombarding me with 50 messages, "Please talk to us, we're begging." I, 32M, never thought I'd write one of these, but if you had told me a year ago that my family would crash my promotion party with a lawyer demanding legal rights to my money, career, and future kids, I would have laughed in your face. Hell, I did laugh in theirs when they pulled out a family trust contract and called it a formality. They said, "You owe us every damn thing you have." But let's rewind a bit, because the audacity didn't come from nowhere. I was unemployed, broke, and grieving the loss of someone who meant the world to me. My ex-fiancée had called off the wedding 2 weeks before the date, said I was too unstable and emotionally unavailable. She was probably right, I was drowning. I moved back in with my parents out of desperation. Worst mistake of my life. It didn't take long before they made their stance clear. "You're a grown man mooching off your parents. Useless. You've always been the disappointment." My dad called me a piece of trash one night when I couldn't bring myself to get out of bed. My younger brother, the golden child, finance bro, the usual, egged it on. No wonder she left. Who wants to marry a loser? I left 2 weeks later. No job, no plan, just a duffel bag and a friend who offered me their couch. I ghosted them all, picked up freelance tech gigs, then landed a contract that turned into a full-time role. Within 6 months, I was leading a new division. This month, I got promoted to VP of Strategy, 6-figure salary, stock options, benefits, a private office overlooking downtown. So yeah, I decided to throw a party, small gathering, friends, mentors, a few colleagues. I kept it very private, or at least I thought I had. We were halfway through the evening, drinks flowing, people toasting. I was feeling good. Then I saw them. My entire family walked in, my parents, brother, even my aunt and uncle, and a man I didn't recognize at first, tall, stiff, carrying a leather briefcase. My heart sank. My mom had the nerve to hug me like nothing had happened. My dad shook my hand like a proud father. I stood there, stunned, looking around. No one knew what to say. Then my brother clapped his hands. "Well, now that everyone important is here, let's talk about the future." He gestured to the briefcase guy. "This is our family attorney, Mr. Cray. He's got a little document we'd love to walk you through." Turns out they drafted a family trust contract, not just some symbolic thing. We're talking legally binding clauses. They wanted a percentage of my current and future income, veto power over career decisions, including job changes or starting a company, and authority over assets acquired during marriage. There was even a clause about any future children being partial trust beneficiaries, meaning they'd have a say in how my kids were raised. Oh, and if I refused, they'd go public with what I owed them, whatever that means. My mom said it like she was doing me a favor. "This is just a formality, honey, you wouldn't be here without us." My dad added, "We sacrificed everything for you, it's time you give back." I looked around the room. My friends were stunned. One of my co-workers had pulled out his phone and was recording quietly. Another whispered, "Is this real?" I laughed so hard I nearly spilled my drink. I walked over to the table, picked up the contract, and read one line out loud. "Beneficiary income shall be dispersed to the trust quarterly." Then I tore it in half, and then in half again, and again. "You think you built me?" I said. "You left me to rot when I needed you most. You don't get to show up now and demand a slice." That's when I did what they'd feared for years, the one thing they never thought I had the courage to do. I turned to Mr. Cray. "You might want to advise your clients to lawyer up, because everything they just did, that's coercion, manipulation, and borderline blackmail, and I've got witnesses." I held up the phone a friend had been using to record. "You have 5 minutes to leave, or I press charges." They scrambled. My mom cried. My dad turned red. My brother muttered something about family betrayal. I didn't care. I watched them leave like I was watching a bad show end. It's been 3 days. I've got 50 missed calls, 23 texts, and 6 voicemails. All variations of please talk to us, we're begging, we didn't mean it like that, it was just a proposal, you're blowing this out of proportion. But I'm not responding, not yet. Because what they don't know is I recorded every single insult last year, every demeaning conversation, every degrading word. And now I didn't sleep that night, not because I was angry, I'd already made peace with who my family was. What kept me up was something else, that tiny voice whispering, it's not over, not yet. And I knew it wasn't, because people like them don't just walk away. They regroup, they spin narratives, they find new ways to control. But they'd made a fatal mistake. They forgot who I used to be. Back when I was still trash. When I lived in their house, humiliated and broken, I started recording things not out of revenge, just survival. I'd been through enough therapy to know documentation is everything when gaslighting starts feeling like truth. So, I kept a private audio journal. Every time my dad told me I was a burden, recorded. Every time my brother mocked my breakdown, saved. When my mom told me I should never have been born if I wasn't going to do something useful, I kept that in my mind. I found my old laptop buried under some boxes. I turned it on, and in a few minutes, I found over 40 audio files with dates. Then I opened the video folder, proof and clear videos. One night, I was in the kitchen, quietly trying to eat after skipping meals for days. My brother came in, drunk, and started yelling at me. He laughed, called me pathetic, and showed off his Rolex like it was a prize I'd never get. He didn't know my phone was in the fruit bowl, recording everything. In the video, he said, "You should be thankful we even let you stay here. You're a leech. If you ever do something with your life, remember we let you live. You owe us your life." My mom came in and said, "If he ever makes money, we'll make sure we're legally protected. He owes us back pay for every meal." They all laughed. I didn't laugh. But now I do. The next morning, I emailed everyone who was at my promotion party, friends, co-workers, bosses, even the head of legal. The subject said what happened Saturday night, the full story. I shared a link with audio of my dad calling me worthless, video of my brother saying they'd control me if I got rich, and a voice memo of my mom saying, if he won't sign, we'll guilt him until he gives in. Family always wins. I ended the message with, "Thank you for your support during this personal time. I'm sharing this so there's no confusion about who they are or why they're out of my life. This is my final statement. My name." 10 minutes later, HR emailed me. "We're sorry. Let us know if you need anything." My mentor wrote, "They picked the wrong person. Proud of you." And my boss said, "I've seen enough. If they contact you, tell legal. We'll handle it." That afternoon, my old phone number, one I kept just for security, was reactivated. I logged in to check. Big mistake. Or maybe not. Texts from my mom. "Please let us explain. We were trying to protect you. This isn't how families work." Voicemails from my dad. "You're making a big deal out of nothing. It was real blackmail. You can't just erase your family." My brother's message. "Wow. You're really going to make us look bad to your job over a joke contract? What's wrong with you?" I didn't send those emails to hurt them. I sent them to protect myself and tell the truth, so they couldn't lie later. After years of silence, shame, and neglect, now they want to be heard, forgiven, and let back in. They should have thought about that before. Before the contract. Before they brought a lawyer to my party and tried to trap me like I was their property. Before they humiliated me when I was at my lowest and then tried to take advantage of my success. They thought I was still broken. They were wrong. Now, I'm not just keeping proof. I'm building a shield they can't break. I have plans and a name they don't want to see on their phones. 3 days later, they showed up at my building. I don't know how they got past security, maybe they begged or lied. There they were, red-eyed and desperate, like everything was falling apart. It was almost funny. They wanted to talk alone. My dad kept saying, "Your family." Like that fixed everything. I didn't answer. I just gave them a card. My lawyer's card. Her name, Maya Sanderson, their old estate lawyer. She wrote their wills, trust papers, and the original contract they tried to use against me. They didn't know I hired her months ago. They didn't know she turned on them. She saw the contract and called it unfair. Now she's on my side. Any talks go through her, I said calmly. Don't call her. She'll call you. I walked away, leaving them frozen. That night, I got one last message. You think this makes you powerful? We made you. I smiled and whispered, now I'm making you. It took less than a week. Maya was already working behind the scenes before the party. Months ago, I noticed strange things: sudden family bonding, fake compliments, questions about my money, and pushy offers to help me manage it. It felt like a trap. So I asked Maya for help. She checked their estate plans, property records, financial papers, and trust documents. She found a hidden rule in their trust: if I signed a contract giving them legal control over any part of my assets, even for a short time, they could claim a big part of my business and estate, even say who would take care of my kids if I had any. That contract was no joke. It was a hostile takeover in disguise. So I fought back hard. With Maya's help, I sued each family member for harassment and lies. I attached texts, voicemails, and video clips from that night, including one where my dad admitted they wanted to lock things down before Opie got married and forgot who's boss. Maya sent a legal warning: if they try to contact me again, they will face a lawsuit. And the best part? We told the banks and estate firms they worked with, and had their trusts flagged. This means they can't make any new legal changes, inheritance claims, or use my name for money moves. They spent years planning to use me for their retirement. But they forgot one thing: I'm not theirs anymore. I didn't hear from them for 2 weeks. Then the backlash began. My uncle emailed me, "Did you really threaten your parents?" What about family? A cousin messaged, "They say you forged papers and went crazy." My dad posted on Facebook, "It hurts when your own family turns cold. We only wanted what's fair." But they were shouting into silence. For the first time, I was not part of their chaos. I bought a new condo with my name on the mailbox and gated access, a place they can't touch. I took 2 weeks off and traveled alone. No updates, no stories, just peace. When I came back, there was a letter in my office mailbox. No return address. It said, "We didn't raise you to be this cold. Maybe money changed you. One day you'll be alone. When that happens, remember who loved you first." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because the letter wasn't from my parents. It was from my brother's fiancé, the one who once whispered behind my back, "If he ever gets rich, I'm getting in that will burned." All of them. They thought they were teaching me loyalty. But they really taught me how to protect myself. They thought I owed them everything. But what they never understood was this: you can't shame someone into success and then try to own the person they become. Now, they sit in the ruins of the empire they tried to steal. Meanwhile, I'm building something they'll never be part of.